Cold War in the 1950s. I love this picture because I think it kind of represents the last time that these three superpowers are united in purpose, at least for some time. Seated on the left, you can see Winston Churchill, FDR in the middle there, and then of course that's Stalin on the right. That picture that you saw was actually taken at the Yalta Summit, which was in February of 1945. Those three people became known as the Big Three, and again it was FDR, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill. What were the goals of this summit? They were there to discuss the fate of Germany. Now that they had to kind of decide what to do with Germany. They didn't want what happened after World War I to happen again, and also talk about the future of the world. The results of the summit were that they were going to divide Germany into 4 separate take-a-peace. And of course, we know that eventually this is going to lead to some problems there. So what starts the Cold War? Mainly the containment policy. The containment policy was created to stop communism from spreading, to keep it in the Soviet Union. So where does this idea of the Iron Curtain come from? Winston Churchill gave a speech. In that speech, he referred to the Soviet Union as the Iron Curtain. And it just represented the division between the free market democracies of the West, the United States and Europe, and then communist dictatorship and totalitarianism of the Soviet Union. So this speech that Winston Churchill gave kind of put a name to the division, and again that's referred to the Iron Curtain quite a bit. And that's just a symbol of communism versus free market. And here's the map here, and you can see on this map it shows the actual physical division. Keep in mind there was no fence here yet. That doesn't happen until much later on. But everything to the east of the line belonged to the Soviet Union and was therefore communist. And then everything to the west there was considered a democracy and free market. Okay, let's go a little bit back and talk about how a Cold War is different from a hot war. Nations do not directly confront each other on the battlefield. A lot of people say that a Cold War just means there's no fighting, and that's not true. There's fighting, it just doesn't take place between the two powers, and we're going to talk about how those powers kind of did fight each other, but not directly. And then of course, who were we in the Cold War with, and that would be the Soviet Union. Why were we in the Cold War? Just this difference in ideology, difference in beliefs, difference in how the world should be, democracy and free market versus communism and totalitarianism. And we'll go ahead and stop right there, and that concludes the beginning of our unit on the Cold War. Next